people in New Jersey and really all over the country. So without further ado, Robin, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Peyton. And thanks to the whole team at ATAC for putting this together. Good morning, everyone. My name is Robin Joseph. I'm joining you from Toronto, and I represent a company called Claris Healthcare. So we're primarily a tablet solution for seniors. Like in New Jersey, we're very proud to have partnered with the State Department of Aging for New Jersey, where we've actually rolled out about 1,000 tablets to all the area agencies on aging. A few words about our senior space. I mean, we've been doing this since about 2012. Our tablet, which I'll show you very shortly, is originally designed for someone over the age of 80. And, we have thousands of seniors on our platform. The average age of our seniors is 86. Now, over time, care providers and family members that had an individual with IDD in their homes or someone in their organizations that they were caring for realized that the type of user interface that works for someone that's over the age of 80 works very well for someone with IDD as well. And we've partnered with family members, we've partnered with care providing organizations. Like, we've learned a lot of the challenges that they face in their day-to-day lives and while they're taking care of their family members. And we've put together an interface which we believe helps individuals with IDD gain more independence. So let me share my screen really quickly, and we'll share a few slides with everyone if that's okay. Peyton, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So that's what our tablet looks like, just from a standard position. I will get into the details of whatever you're seeing there. Our mission is to help IDD care organizations and family members like yourselves achieve a higher levels of independence. Now, we know that one of the challenges that caregivers face with individuals with IDD is you have a caregiver or a family member that's required to check into the homes or into the living facilities of individuals with IDD several times a day to make sure they've done their daily tasks, like if they brush their teeth, have they packed their bags, have they made their meals, and so on. And what we've done, I'll go to the screen that explains this properly. What we've done is replaced a lot of those in-person check-ins with an automated system that an individual is able to check in themselves on the tablet. And we've partnered with organizations that have been able to reduce the number of care workers that are required at their facilities because the individuals are using the tablet. So not only does this help the organization reduce the number of care workers that they need, but from a family perspective, from an individual perspective, what we've found is that it really empowers the individual by giving them the sense of independence that, yes, these are things that I can do myself without the need for someone coming into my room or coming into my home 7 or 8 times a day to check on menial things and have I made my bed and have I, made my meal and things like that. So this is something that we're actively working with organizations and family members to roll out across the country. I will show you a brief demo of how the platform works, but here's a slide that sort of explains how this works and how the caregivers sort of come into the relationship with the tablet. So at the very top, you have the tablet, which, as we've mentioned, is designed specifically for an individual with IDD, or take a senior, for example. Number 2 is what we call the care management console, which will help you as caregivers monitor what's happening on the tablet, set up the tablet. So all these different features that you're seeing on the tablet here, all of those can be configured by yourselves. If you're sending out a survey, for example, you can enter the questions and the answers for that survey. You can find out if they're online or where the tablet is, and it basically gives you sort of a remote control over the tablet to make sure that you're fully observing that tablet. And yes, there's a bit of a a catch-22 situation where you're thinking of, okay, how does this protect the privacy of the individual? So to give you an example, The care management console can tell you that your family member was using Google Chrome, but it will not tell you like what websites they were browsing on that browser. So it gives you some, like, another example would be like, it will tell you that a message was sent between your member and another contact, but it won't give you the contents of that message. So the purpose of the management console is to sort of tell you exactly how the tablet is being used and what it's used for, without providing too many details of the content of that interaction. At number 3, you have Claris Insight Analytics. So if you're if you're an organization that cares for several individuals, and you'd like to see some accumulated reports on how these tablets are being used and what they're being used for, like, that's where we have a sort of a robust reporting system that gives you that information. So without further ado, I think I can skip a few slides and take you to the tablet. I will mention one more feature. Accessibility, I know, is a big deal when it comes to caring for individuals with IDD. We've rolled out several features over the years based on the feedback that we've received from customers. Number 1 is image-based surveys. So of course, you can imagine, especially when we're working with seniors, we have a lot of seniors with like low vision problems, sometimes seniors that just haven't learned how to read. So for those types of individuals, we provide the ability to insert an image in your survey or in your question, so that they can select an image as opposed to having to read a question and respond to a text-based answer. Voice to text. So for our messaging options, you do have the option to click on a button and dictate a message into the tablet. Text to voice, where you have the option to read out your survey questions and your answers, just in the scenario where someone still has trouble reading. And announcements and notifications. Now, keep in mind, like, we create this so that it can be used by someone that's not very familiar with technology, or someone that has a hard time dealing with conventional technology. So any sort of messages that are coming, any surveys that are coming in, like, we have the ability to make them sort of pop up through like a loud notification and an announcement. And you as a caregiver would have full control on like the volume settings and whether or not you want notifications, or what time of the day would you want the notifications to set up. If we make it very easy for you as a caregiver to configure all of these different features. So let me show you quickly what the tablet looks like. The first thing I want to show you is like the care management console, the second part of my slide. So if I go here, I see all the different members that I'm caring for. And one of them, we've set up sort of a demonstration individual called Ian. And if I go to Ian's profile, I'll have a look at his dashboard, all the different settings that are on his tablet, what are all the different care features, the contacts that he has set. So I see that today at 7:30 p.m., he's got a care program scheduled, a bedtime routine, 2:15 p.m., another care program. At 10:43 a.m., I see there was a medication reminder. 10:38 a.m. there was an event scheduled. So this sort of gives you a bird's eye view of what is happening on that tablet. That's what the dashboard is supposed to do. Now, if I go to the tablet itself, I've got it opened here. This is sort of a remote viewer. And Peyton, can you confirm that you're seeing the second window up here? I'm not very familiar with Zoom. Sorry about that. Thank you.
So you're all good.
Thank you. So at the outset, as I was mentioning, like the main sort of value that we have created for individuals with IDD and their caregivers is the ability to check in on these daily tasks that they do, which which kind of replaces the need for someone having to come in several times a day and check on them, right? So we have the ability to have it launch at a certain time of the day, and you can set it to repeat. But just for demonstration purposes, if I click on morning routine, and it'll just walk me through those questions, like, did you use the toilet? Did you brush your teeth? And keep in mind that these are not questions that we set up and we sort of provide them to you for use. You as a caregiver will have full control on what type of questions are you placing into the tablet, what are the answers, are there any images that go along with it? And I'll show you how you can set those up as well. Okay. The same thing for the after school routine or bedtime routine. Now, if I go to the care option here and go to care programs, you can see these are the different routines that I've set up. Now, if I go to, like, let's say the after school routine and click on edit, you can see all the different surveys I've entered there. I can add some logic even. So for example, for this survey, which is after school, like, did you lock the door? If someone responds, let's say if there's someone respond no, then I can send them, I can provide a logic-based task to provide a check-in. So that would mean that a pop-up would sort of display on the tablet with the word check-in, and your family member would just have to click on check-in just so that you know that they're okay. You can imagine, like, with scenarios where you have family members living in another state or at a location where you're not able to drive and personally physically check in on them. Like, we've created applications like this that sort of give you sort of the peace of mind to make sure that, you know, your family members are okay and they're not in any trouble. So this, you can see the amount of the detail that goes into, like, setting up these routines. So we've set up several surveys. There's a start date and time, set it to repeat, set it to end, display as a notification and care button, make sure that it does show up as a button. So as a caregiver, you have the option to edit all of this. So nothing is, you know, provided by us as a, like, we can of course provide this as a template and work with you to, you know, to refine this as you go, but you have full control over this. Just to show you a few others, like we have exercise reminders or medication reminders, contacts. Another thing about contact, like on the right hand side here, you'll see there's several buttons. Now, again, it's all about customizability, right? So as a caregiver, you will have the ability to change any of these buttons out. Maybe you just want a video call and a messages button. That's up to you. If I go to video call, I can see that there's certain contacts that the individual is able to communicate with. And that's something, that's a feature that we've created to protect the privacy of our individuals. We don't want, like, spammers and scammers to call the tablet, which is not possible, because you can only communicate with someone that has been assigned as a contact by yourself, by the caregiver. So if I go to contacts here, and you know, these are the 4 contacts that I've set up. But, you know, I can just add any contact, add their email address, phone number, and, you know, decide a role based on the level of engagement I want that contact to have, and save. And then, you know, your family member will be able to communicate with that individual. The same goes for, like, a call me button. You know, for if you don't want, if you just want the family member to give you a call request and you'd want them to call you, like, that's where you'd go. So privacy and accessibility is something that we really swear by. It just provides you with a lot of customizing options. The final thing that I want to show you quickly is, and I apologize if I'm sort of rushing through, I know there's some kind of lack of time, is the insights report. So this really comes into hand when you're caring for several individuals, so you're at an organization that, you know, covers a lot of different areas. So that's when you have the insights report come into handy. Like, you have, like, total interactions. Like in this scenario with this organization, I see 500 tablets were rolled out, all different interactions, the time spent, interaction by user. So what types of apps they used, events, surveys, and so on. The top 10 activities, total usage, website usage, etc. So it kind of gives you a bird's eye view of, like, all the different activities that are going on. Like, if you saw the different types of surveys that were entered in the morning routine, after school routine. If I were to go to survey responses, I'd be able to see the number of, you know, people that responded to the survey, how did they respond, and so on. So in this example, this is an example of surveys that we send to some of our senior customers. So we send surveys that sort of test their cognitive abilities. So in this case, have you been to this destination? Did you enjoy this throwback song, etc.? And it gives you an accumulated report of how those survey questions went. Okay. The final thing I want to show you also is the ability to set up virtual activities and day programs. So through our tablets, we've partnered with a group called Adults in Motion that provides virtual activities and virtual day programs. So instead of sending your family member to a facility where they conduct day programs, we have virtual day programs that are scheduled Monday to Friday. You can sort of pick your own schedule. A lot of like fun activities, like there's baking classes, reading classes, like disco time with Rod. Really like a robust calendar that's built for individuals with IDD so that they can stay engaged and not have to leave the home and find transportation to go to a day program. So at the end of the day, our main focus, I'll just reiterate, is to help organizations and family members achieve increased independence for their for individuals with IDD. And this is something that we're rolling out across the country. I'd love to hear from any of the caregivers on the call if you have any feedback.
Would you be able to
please.
talk a little bit to everyone about what the maintenance of the device looks like and how technical support works and that kind of thing?
So of course, like our team comes with technical support and customer support. So we're a phone call away. Like for organizations, like we assign a customer success representative that will work with you to make sure this is rolled out in the best possible way. We don't get a lot of requests to maintain the tablet because it comes with like a very sort of a hard case, like a rubberized edge. So there's a lot of protection against falls and breaks. So we rarely get a scenario where a tablet needs to be returned or repaired, because this is going into the hands of seniors and individuals with IDD. We put a lot of care into this, onto the protection of the device, so it can be used by someone like that.
Awesome, thank you.
Does this? I mean, I'm just trying to get some feedback. If someone can share, would this look like something that your family members can use, or if you're familiar with other organizations that can use this? And it can be yes or no. Like if it's like a no, you can tell me. A lot of the organizations that I've spoken with have said, the individuals in their care just have a device, like maybe they have a smartphone or a tablet already, and in which case, which is fine. But a lot of times when they don't have a device and they need a care worker to go into those homes to check in, like that's when this really comes in handy.
Robin, you have a question in the chat. It says, okay, can the device be worn if a person is moving around? I have a friend newly diagnosed with Alzheimer's and I can see a lot of application for him.
I'm just opening up my chat here. Can a device be worn if a person is moving around? Yeah, absolutely. So this is basically like if you're familiar with a Samsung Galaxy tablet, like that's what this is. Like this is not a wired device. This is not something that needs to be plugged in all the time. The hardware itself is a Samsung Galaxy tablet. It's built on the Android operating system. What we've designed is we've designed the software that basically replaces the standard Samsung software. And you can, obviously this comes with, like our subscription plan comes with 4G data, unlimited data. So it doesn't require like Wi-Fi in the home like a lot of other products. So yes, you can absolutely take this with you. And because it's GPS monitored, as a caregiver, you will always be able to see the location of your device if you log into the care management console. Thank you, Alice, for the question. That's good feedback. Alice, I'm just wondering, your friend is he or she currently residing at a facility, or are they living at home with a family member?
He's currently living in his home, and he has some family that are coming in and out, but there are some times when he's by himself. And so he lives in Chicago. And
Yeah.
so some of his friends, on the days that they know that the family member isn't there, they're trying to like create kind of a circle of support for him.
Yeah.
But he has an iPhone right now, and he's so confused when he tries to do a text message or make a phone call that and I saw one of his friends support him
Yeah.
on the phone with that. And so as my background is in this field, I'm looking for opportunities to provide some information to his family. I think he has other issues going on besides the diagnosis of Alzheimer's. So I don't know. But something like this where, the interface is clean, and, if he wants to make a phone call, he doesn't have to look in his contacts.
Yeah.
He's losing that ability to use the iPhone. So
Right.
something that could be customizable. And he is still very mobile. He walks in his neighborhood, he goes to a gym, but going forward, having something like that might be really nice. So
And that's
thank
the
you
thing
for
about,
all the work you've done on this. It looks great.
I appreciate it, Alice. I've personally had conversations with folks like yourself, Alice, where they have a family member, which, they were very comfortable using technology, like an iPhone or Gmail or like any, like WhatsApp, like whatever you have it, right? But once they reach a certain age, or if they procure a condition like Alzheimer's, that's when they really need a solution like this. And a lot of these folks, even though they use an iPhone for something like calling, they'll still get a Claris Companion so that they can do video. They can just press a button and video call their grandchildren or talk to their doctor and things like that. So yes, I've personally had those conversations, and you can, visit clariscompanion.com. So if you just go to clariscompanion.com, you can easily buy this for your family members. We have folks go and buy this device for our family members and for their family members every day. I'm wondering if there's anyone on the call that is caring for an individual with IDD. I'd just like to get some feedback if this is like a useful service, if like any of the features we've developed are really useful. Maybe we're completely wrong here, but I just if there's, even if anyone could put this in the chat, I appreciate like a little bit of feedback. No, I guess not. Peyton, I'll be happy to share all of this info as an email with you if you'd like to share this with the group. And
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
And I know you mentioned you'll be putting this on YouTube as well.
Yes, we share everything on our website, and I will also share the link to that with you as well.
Sounds good. Well,
Awesome.
Thanks very much for having me on.
Thank you so much for coming, and thank you
you
for all the great information.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
All right, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for coming.